the goals and intellectually challenge the people. Because start raising questions so the people can be challenged. Independence and control, active engagement to be involved, and learn from the students. As a teacher, we need to keep two important things in mind. Students, they don't care what you know till they know that you care about their success. That's what students are looking for. They want us to ensure that we are caring for their success. There are a number of methods that are available. To select an appropriate method, you need to look at few aspects. First is education. An engine of prosperity. Classroom teaching must match with the demands of the market. And you need to keep in mind what are the things to be considered, what is the level of the class, nature of the subject, number of students which are attending the class, size of the classroom, books available, and what is the time level. These factors are kept in mind in deciding which method to follow. Traditionally, all of them using lecture method. Lecture method is a presentation of information with or without the use of teaching aids. We have been traditionally using the blackboard, and all of us are comfortable. And this is mainly used for giving information or introduce a new topic or developments, or to communicate rules, regulations, policies, and some lessons. This is the purpose for which we have been using it, and we are all masters. We have done enough of that. I slightly move on. Now it's time we have to look at using technology classrooms. My dear faculty, technology will not replace teachers. Teachers who do not use technology will be replaced. Take it from me. The second method which I talk about is demonstration. Can we demonstrate a moment? Demonstrate is a process where students to learn by observing a teacher performing a skill or procedure. When you demonstrate an instrument or showing some chart, the attention of the students is much more in the classrooms. This basically you should turn theory into practice. Whatever theory we're talking about, we're able to convert it into practice and show how to do things that are more important. Because we're all from the engineering faculty, we need to ensure our students are able to learn something and take it to the industry. And this stimulates interest and keep the students' attention when we start demonstrating it. So we talked about two methods. One is lecture method, second is demonstration. Now third I bring in is group discussion. Why don't we make them to form smaller groups? And this will help in verbal exchange of ideas and opinions on a particular topic, whatever you're going to them. This will help them to improve the creative thinking ability, because one of the most important is thinking abilities. They have to think a lot. Thinking is not happening. They just mug up and represent an exam hall. That's not going to help us. So improve creative thinking and decision-making skills. At the end of the discussion, they have to come up with the decision. Two things we can achieve it by having discussions. One is creative thinking happen. Second is decision-making skills happen. This also brings the concept of improved teamwork and communication skills. Because ultimately, when you're in the industry, they have to work in a team. Team is an acronym. It stands for Together Everyone Achieves More. Mathematically speaking, 1 plus 1 is 2. In a team performance, 1 plus 1 is 11. That's the strength you derive it. So this will help in improving the teamwork and communication skills. We have seen three methods so far. One is lecture method, second demonstration, third is group discussion. The next is seminar. Most colleges are doing it, there's no doubt. This mainly aim at short, intensive course of study. Seminar is a discussion where students are to present on a given topic for discussion analysis. This will help them to be developed self-learners, because the moment they complete their engineering degree, when they go out, to make sure they're self-learning it. They're not going to come back and read the class once again. This will help the students to become independent learners. That's the important part of it. Develop analytical, presentation, leadership qualities. These three qualities can be developed. They will analyze things, what to present, what not to present, what to speak, not to speak. They'll also develop the presentation skills, and leadership qualities can develop it. In the seminar, quite often I've seen in the college when I go around, one of the problems facing is they have the stage fear. If they start participating, their fear can come out. When they talk about presentation skills, three dimensions one has to look at. What you know is not important. What you say is less important. how you're saying is much more important. How well you're able to present the topic, which is easily understandable by the audience who are sitting there. So main purpose of seminar is, one is to make them self-learners, second is develop the analytical ability, third is presentation skills, fourth is leadership qualities. This is what they can focus on by bringing seminars. At least once in a semester, we can bring seminars into the classrooms. Once in a semester, we can do the discussions. And once in a semester, the demonstration, we can do it. Demonstrate an experiment. Either bring the equipment to the classroom or take them to the lab and let them do it. The next day come up is panel discussions. Once in a year, we have panel discussion is a presentation on a selected topic by 3 or more experts from industry or leading academic institutions. This will provide interaction between the panel members and students. This is an opportunity for the students to interact with the panel members who are coming from the industry or the academia, and it provides opportunity for them to build a network with them. This network will help them in doing the tomorrow internships, projects, and placements also. When 3 experts are presenting different views on the same topic, that promotes thinking skills and presents several views on the same topic. This now students will start thinking, what speaker 1 has said this, speaker 2 said this, speaker 3 said it. Their thinking skills will develop it. When I talk about thinking, there are 2 dimensions of thinking. One is what we call as creative thinking. Second is critical thinking. Creative thinking is something like brainstorming. Let the ideas come out. Maybe start writing on the blackboard or whiteboard or a flip chart, whatever it is. Once all the ideas are listed, then you can start anything which are not filled. Remaining, you can have once again brainstorming sessions that would help you to critical thinking. To put in simple words, creative thinking is divergence, critical thinking is convergence, because you have to converge ultimately to implement one particular solution. That's another way to look at it. The next dimension is field trip. Almost all the colleges are doing field trips. Education tour, excursion, whatever the name you call it. But the only concern I have is, why are we taking the students? What for? The objective of the visit must be clear. And the concerned faculty must accompany with the students. Because whatever we discuss in theory classroom, we should be able to show them in the industry, this is what we're talking about in the classroom. But what is happening is, unfortunately, all the teachers together, they go there. And the concerned faculty may or may not accompany, somebody else is going. They just go as a pleasure trip and come back. That's a very objective is defeated. Field trip exposes students to resources in business industry and the community which are not generally available in the colleges. Why are we taking them? Because certain resources we do not have in the classroom, certain resources we don't have in the institution. That's the reason we are taking them to industry, to show them what the real life environment is. What the resources are there in the business industry and the community, which is generally not available in the colleges. A field trip is an outing that can be to teach skill or concept outside the normal environment. Basic purpose is to focus on skill. Now, another point I'd like to bring in at this point of time is there are 2 components, knowledge and skill. In academic institutions, we focus more on KSA model. That is, we give importance to knowledge, then skill, and third is attitude. But in the industry environment, they look at ASM. For them, first and foremost is attitude. The soft skills are more important. Then comes the skill. Third is knowledge. The engineering graduate should design something, test something, maintain something, all that should be able to do it. Problem when they come to recruitments, we are facing it, they are not able to do even small things. This will help them use to bring realism to learning and first-hand experience, because seeing is believing it. They're able to see, and that's a belief. So it's a first experience they get it. Increases students' motivation, because whatever theory they learned in the classroom, now they're able to see on the ground, on the field when they visit the industry. Increases students' motivation and reinforces classroom learning. It is reinforcing is done. That's a very objective of field trip. This would strengthen observing person. When they are seeing the industry, really what is happening, the strengthening perceptions will improve it and promote social development. The next method, one thing to think about is brainstorming sessions. Brainstorming is a process to generate as many ideas as possible in short time without evaluation. The one thing also is important is when they go to field, they need to focus. Drishti undalandi, Drishti unte srushti vastundi, they can create something tomorrow. Are they really focusing on observing? And when they come back, did they prepare report what the specific thing they're seeing? So coming to the brainstorming sessions, this will help them to actively involve the total group and create enthusiasm, because each and every member of the team start contributing to it. In a classroom of 60, maybe only 3-4 will be, but here is a super group. They can actively involve total group and create enthusiasm. Each one of the members actively participated. You may be having 3-4 members as a team, and that team can discuss. Most of the colleges claim they are doing mentoring process. Each colleague may be assigned a set of students. That smaller group, you can have brainstorming sessions, maybe to discuss various subjects, various topics, or maybe the latest developments, whatever is happening. Everybody will start, because you can easily monitor it. Since a smaller group, you can easily monitor it. Encourage creative thinking and even solve the difficult problems, because they have collective wisdom. Let's assume there are 6 people are participating. They are able to bring in the collective wisdom that will help to solve even the difficult problems. So why not we have sometime brainstorming? Students will be able to say possible problems of the given case using brainstorming techniques. They can bring out some solutions. What are the possible solutions? What are the problems which might be occurring in implementing solutions? Students will be able to say the possible solution for the problem for the given case using brainstorming techniques. That's what the very object of brainstorming is. They can work together, discuss on common agenda, work out the problem, come with a solution, and present to us. The advantage collective wisdom we are able to bring in. The another method one to think about exploring the possibilities role plays. Role play simulation process in which a problem is outlined, acted out, observed, and discussed. One student play the role of client, one student play the role of designer, one student play the role of tester, one student play the role of quality control in charge. Now look at each one's attitude, the way they start behaving it. Now you as a moderator can neutralize it, and this will help the students to explore their inner attitudes and feelings will come out. Everybody start talking about it, and brings elements of real life into the classrooms, because they're able to see what happens in the industry when they go there, what the quality assurance man is saying, what the design is saying, what the testing person is saying, what the client is saying, all that they'll get able to get feel, and so they're ready for the industry when they join. Also, when we bring in some kind of games once in a while, some kind of simulation, you can do it. I do not know how many of you are aware, we have the flight simulation training center we have here in Hyderabad of the Air India, and the pilots come back here and they undergo compulsory training. It's not like us, we get degree and we're all through. They have to come back and then undergo compulsory training here. At the end of the training, the persons are put on simulator and they have to fly the aircraft in a simulator. The instead of sitting at the backside, he creates conditions and see how safely this fellow is able to land. He'll make one engine to fail, or he'll make brakes to fail. Conditions, or he'll make a stormy environment. In all these cases, the fellow should be able to safe landing it, and only then he's allowed to fly the aircraft. The same is here in the case of games. Simulation that present models of reality for applying knowledge and skills according to specific rules. This will create a risk-free environment for trying out new skills. They can experiment more and more. Go beyond the textbook, go beyond syllabus, go beyond what the practice they are supposed to do in the classroom, go much beyond it, explore things, because it's a risk-free environment. And that's the very purpose of doing that. Demonstrate teamwork and alternative problem-solving strategies can adopt. You can be the game changer, a session that helps you discover diamonds, each one of them. I'm a strong believer in students, each one of them has immense potential. Are we able to harness their potential and bring in the talent which is hidden in them? Generally in the classroom, we classify students into 3 categories. The first couple of benches who are serious, that's what we feel. The middle benches, they're okay, we need to do a little push. And last benches, generally we start ignoring it. Let me tell you, last benches have got all-round personal development, because they actually participate curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities. Whereas front bench, generally they are confined to curricular. At the most, they go to co-curricular. So if you do something with last benches, they can do much more. I'll give you an example. Imagine for a moment you have 3 students. You're 3 children, biologically, you're 3 biological. 2 are born normal, 1 child is born with some defect. what we do as a parent? We give more time, more money, more resources to third child who is born with defect than the other two children. The same thing you do in the classroom. The last benches have the potential, if you can able to talk to them and interact, they can do much more. Talk to such fellows on a one-on-one basis, call to a room and discuss it, wonders. I can share an experience. 2006 onwards, we started implementing mentoring in our institution where I was working earlier. And each faculty was assigned and let me try sincerely. I called the students who were allotted to me. I said, I'm willing to spare my time for you. Let us meet weekly 3 days after the class is over. I said that 3 days could be anything of your choice. You discuss and decide, tell me what the 3 days is. They came back and said Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We met there and about half hour every day. We were discussing all subjects what they did in the coursework. Each one by one, day by day, we were doing. And after 3 months, I said this time is not efficient. We need to do much more because we're running out of time and campus recruitment start. I said, please come on Sundays to my house 10 to 6. All this was no charges. And when they came to my house, they were with us 10 to 6. She supported in serving food for them also. And we were continuing the process. In addition, we started this Sunday class also. We have spent roughly 6 months. After that, I told the students it's time now to face the mock interviews. I'm all the people from industry. They conduct mock interviews exclusively for your group only. When I approach the industry, I approach some of the alumni, some of the industry people and the friends. And each time I have done 6 rounds of mock interviews exclusively for this short smoke. And I used to get 3 to 4 experts each time. I'm not a single pie to them. They came on their own. At the most, I offered a coffee, that's all. They conduct the mock interviews, guide the students what the areas they need to improve it. After having gone 6 rounds of mock interviews, we also had 3 rounds of mock GDs, group discussions. And 1 mock session of jam also we had. At the end of it, we have invested over 250 hours of our time after the college. Please, this. There was no money involved. At the end of it, when they came to the campus recruitment, they all could clear right at the first attempt. Don't think job was easy. That was continued from 2006 to 2014 till I left my job. In one of the batches, I got students. One fellow was most irregular. I did my best to convince him. I said, this is what I'm doing for your benefit. There's no money involved. Why don't you come? If I don't do, my management is not going to take action, any action against me. He used to always tell me, sir, tomorrow is not coming. Then I thought, in fact, one day angry at me, shouted at me because I teach at the PG level. That fellow shouted at me, you know, in my engineering, I'm not even gone 4 months to college. Why are you asking me to come every day here? I said, fine, you're not gone there. At least now come here regularly so that your future can be safe. Sorry, nothing worked out. I'm a failure. I don't mind accepting it. Then let me talk to the parents. I spoke to his father. I said, this is what I'm doing and this is free. And why don't you ask your son to attend these classes? The father said, sorry, sir, I can't do anything. If you can do something, please do it. If you cannot do, please leave it. That flow is like that. Somewhere my sixth sense says, no, this boy has a talent. One day early morning, I went to his house. I stay at Rajinagar. This boy stays in Elgin, 20 kilometers. Morning, 6 o'clock, knocked the door. His father came out. I introduced him and so. Immediately asked him to come in. He woke up his son came to me and I said, brush up and come here. I came here to teach you. Believe, trust me, I went only for 2 days. Second evening, that boy to me, sir, please don't come to my house anymore. I will come to you now onwards. Whenever whatever the time you want, I am available. After that, more or less regularly attended all classes, the remaining part. At the end of it, he is one of those last benches. At the end of it, when campus recruitment started, this boy got the highest pay packet campus recruitment. And when he got it, he went and probably at home. And you know that campus recruitment, they don't give the offer letter. They just announce the list and go. Offer letters later. This boy went and told his mom. And mom believed it. He said, no, mom, I got the placement. No. Then he said, okay. He called me. Sir, did I get the placement? I said, yes, you got the placement. We're all happy to celebrate. But my mom is not believing, sir. Please, why don't you talk to her? I said, okay, I'll speak to her. I spoke to her. I told her, madam, you should be happy. Your son got the highest paper. We're all really happy with him and so on. You know what she told me? इस घर को किसने नौकरी दी? ये अड्डेगाड़ी गवर्नमेंट उद्योग में चिन्ह मैडम अला ఎందుకంటారు मैडम very good fellow. No sir, me telvas sir. I know this fellow because she told me I don't have any problem with my mother-in-law. I don't have a problem with my husband. I have 3 children. The other 2 children I don't have problem. This fellow has been creating problem right in 9th class. He's a terror. My health is totally spoiled only because of this fellow. I said, madam, past is past. Now you should be happy celebrating it. And I don't know. And she also told me it's a matter of few months now. My life is. Unfortunately, within 3 months, she passed away. But today, at least, I'm happy that lady is peaceful there. We can transform. In electrical engineering, you use 2 words. One is called transmission and transform. Don't just transmit the knowledge in the classrooms. Can you transform the future of the girls who are attending to us? We have to play the role of transformer, not transfer knowledge. Another thing, especially the young faculty, if they're attending this program, most often we say at the end of this semester, we go and report our HOD or principal, whatever it is. I've finished my syllabus. My dear young friends, are we finishing syllabus or are we completing the syllabus? Finish is with reference to time. Complete is with reference to quality. If you want to do quality, you need to put in a lot more effort. That's another challenge. The another challenge is how much we're able to update our knowledge. My dear young friends, please note, a teacher is a lifelong student. You need to constantly update your knowledge because you are in the field of technology. Technology is changing in nature. Whatever last year you taught, that cannot be taught here now. In the 1 year that are taken place. You need to constantly update your knowledge or outdate for you to decide. While I was in service, I used to go for inspections. And one of the places I always love to see is library. And generally my complaint is books are not sufficient, journals not sufficient, and so on. And once I went to one of the private engineering college in Maharashtra for inspection. And the college chairman, an elderly person, must be about 70-year-old by then itself. He took to the library building. It's a beautiful building. And we took inside round. When we were coming out, I told him, sir, books are not sufficient, journals you want are sufficient, and so on. I start talking. He told me with folded hands, sir, I don't know why you're asking for all this. Forget about students, even faculty are not coming to library, then why should I waste my money? Maybe he's right, but I agree with that. Are we utilizing the books which every year we're adding thousands of books to our libraries, periodicals come depending on the periodicity, are we looking at them? Are we constantly updating it? That is an area where you need to focus it. And if you do it, yes. Now today this boy works for the Ministry of Petroleum. Whenever it comes to Hyderabad, it's a point to come and visit us and spend whole day with us. Look at it, what we've done is nothing. The next method I talk about is storytelling. The thing can be sometimes narrated in form of story. Story narration is most successful when the teller has the complete attention to the audience. The way you are narrating the story, you must be able to draw the attention. Is very important. Please remember, teaching is a performing art. It's a stage show. You need to enact the play. Your body language, voice modulation, facial expression, everything is important. The second point, when you talk about storytelling, raise the point. Whatever the subject you are telling, things you remember. When you walk into the first day of the semester into your class, don't come back at the end of the class and say first chapter is over. No. The first class is meant for creating interest in the subject for the student. Talk about the beauty of the subject. Talk about the greatness of the subject. Talk about the usefulness of the subject. Talk about what kind of employment officer waiting they can master this subject. Talk about the contributions made by the great people who are founders of this subject and the kind of sacrifices what they made. All that to create interest in them, inspire these boys and girls to talk about the beauty of the subject and fall in the subject. That's one dimension of it. The second dimension to talk about is, as a faculty, do you love the subject? When you love the subject, you automatically enjoy it. Your teaching will go to the peaks. Please remember, teaching is not a job. Teaching has to be passion. It has to come from the heart, what you're doing it. So story narration is more successful when the teller has the complete attention of the audience. For this, the narrator needs to be use different techniques to capture the attention of the audience. It's like a hypnotist, you need to be there. The narration should actually take the audience to one of the character story what you're mentioning it. For example, biggest electronics industry in Hyderabad we have is ECIL. The founder of ECIL is Dr. A.S. Rao. How many of you read the biography of Dr. A.S. Rao? EC faculty especially. Did you read the biography of A.S. Rao? If not, please read his biography. He comes from very, very poor family background. Didn't had money even to study. That's the background from which he came. His mother sold her wedding saree, gave the money to A.S. Rao, and so he started his studies. Each and every stage of his education, he had difficulty in financially, but still he went up to Stanford to pursue his master's program. And he came back and joined with Tata's because he has funded his Stanford education. He worked with them for 8 years and then came to Harvard to set up this ESA. Look at people are not born with silver spoon. There are people who are really struggling to bring in such stories to the classrooms to create interesting subjects depending on your subject. What is the subject you're teaching? Narrator is the key, and a lot depends on how he delivers and has the audience taking them along with him to the entire story. So once in a while, present the topic in a story. The other method I talk about is, we all know crossword puzzles. I would say bring in a reverse crossword puzzle. That means puzzle is already filled up. Because somehow we have tuned the students right from the LKG. We did not encourage them to question it. We only said, I question, you answer it. And there's a fundamental drawback in the education system. Go back to LKG classes. Our teachers have taught us A for apple. I'm sure all of you will say apple. Instead of that, teacher should ask in a class of, let's say, 20 students, she should ask, tell me the word starting with the letter A. At least 4 or 5 words should have come out. That would help them to think more and more, come out more and more ideas. We did not do that. We did not encourage questioning. The more the questions raised, that's good for them. Start questioning everything. Prashnena, Prati Prashnena, Abha Prashnena, Abhi Prashnena. Not only questioning, counter questioning is also useful. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be afraid of it. Just stand up in the class and ask questions. All questions from class. Are we asking questions? Are our students are asking questions? Are we encouraging them? I know generally when I go to college, at the end we say, any questions, no questions. And at the same time, when we get down from the stage and walking around, and somebody will come, sir, you said that, what is this? Why you're not asking that? So all this could have benefited. When a student is asking questions in the classroom, please ask all of the students to clap for him. Because of him, others are getting to know the answer. Encourage questioning it. That's another thing which needs to be done. So reverse crossword puzzle is, it encourages questioning attitude. The students are required to frame question clues. The question must be right, smart, and apt. The rating will be on the basis of the quality and correctness of the questions what they raised. The way questions are raised in some of the seminars and conferences, when we go there, and some fellow will stand up and he will speak the question. He says question and he speaks for 10 minutes. Is it a question at all? The questions must depict the knowledge and understand the subject. Firmly believe that asking the right question is more important and also more difficult than providing the right answers. Similarly, let's say when they join the industry, when they have to design something, they have to interact with the client. Because most often they are going to interact. Let's say, for example, I'm from CSC branch. When I had to develop software, I had to interact with my clients. Clients are from a totally different domain. Maybe telecommunications, maybe medical and health, maybe mining industry, maybe dairy industry. Unless interact them, learn more about their industry, then only I can talk about developing software for them without that industry. So encourage more and more questions. This is what will happen if they do the reverse process. The another method we can think about is BST model, I call it. Bring something into the classrooms. Don't just walk in with chalk and dust and say, this is what I'm doing. Once in a while, I'm not saying every day, once in a semester, can you prepare a chart? Because chart sheet will cost only 10 rupees every day. Prepare a chart and just keep it there on table. Somewhere in the middle of the lecture, just open the chart sheet. What a curiosity develops. Bring in something to the classrooms. Bring something to the classrooms that will attract the attention of the students. That's another model you can try. The another approach you can think about is KHT model. Know 100 terms of the subjects what you're teaching with complete conceptual clarity is what needs to be done. Especially some of the colleges where the faculty is a problem, we're finding it. And another model I'll say is, all of you know in mathematics you study delta increment. What is my delta today? What new things did I learn today? As a faculty, I must question myself first, then I talk about students. If I've not learned anything new, the day has gone waste from my life. Each and every minute is valuable. The day is not going to come back to us. What is the new addition we are doing it to our knowledge base first, and then in turn to the students sharing is happening it. What is my delta? You need to question yourself every day. What is the new things you're doing it? You need to question. Are we doing it? And the next I talk about TCM model. You need to think deeper into subjects, connect the real life, the concepts what you're teaching in the classrooms, and apply in any given situations. Think, connect, and apply. Thinking skills are very, very important in going deeper in subjects. The next model I say is LT, learn, teach, and practice it. You need to learn the subject, teach it, and not only just teaching it, you need to practice it. Another problem which I see when I go to these colleges, I visited about 500 colleges in the last 10 years in various capacities. Let's say when you go to the college and when you interact with some faculty, let's say CSC faculty, I ask him what subject you are teaching. He says DBM. Good. What are the practicals they are doing? Sir, the lab faculty is different. I don't understand this concept. How can you say theory and lab will go in two different directions? They need to work hand in hand and move forward is to be done. This is what is happening. It. So think, connect, and apply in given situations. Then learn, teach, and practice. Learn is you need to be proficient in the subject while teaching it. And convert into efficiency and effectively conduct. The lastly I'll bring in is CCC model. That is, create the curiosity constructively. Create the curiosity in the minds of the student. And curiosity to be known to the best teacher in the world. Curiosity is the best teacher in India. I have a suggestion. When you walk into the class, the first 3 minutes doesn't belong to you. Sorry. That is only to recapitulate what we discussed in the last class. Because this class has a continuity. And say last 2-3 minutes of this session, it doesn't belong to you. The last 3 minutes, can you give them 2 questions? Just 2 questions. I'm not explaining anything. Which will have only 1 word or 1 line answers. These days, I know, if you ask them to write 10 lines to nens, these fellows will not write, I know. Excepting IIT and those kind of institutions, our regular colleges and talking. So give them just 2 questions, which will have 1 or 1 line answers. I'm sure 90% students will attempt it. Ask them to write in a separate notebook. If they can start learning at least 2 keywords based on what you taught today, with conceptual clarity, including plural, antonyms, synonym, everything. If they can master just words from what you taught for those 40 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever it is, do you know what will happen at the end of BTech? 2 words per period. I'm assuming there are 6 periods a day, which means at the end of the day, they have mastered 12 words of their branch of engineering. In a week, 6 working days, which means 72 words per week they have mastered of their branch of engineering. And in a month, there are 4 weeks, which means 288 words they mastered of their branch. Generally, semester is just 4 months, which comes to 1152 words in a semester they mastered. And BTech is 8 semesters, which comes to 9,216 words they would have mastered their branch of engineering. If they can really master this, that gives them confidence and courage to face recruiters. But what is happening today? I sit on recruitment boards also. Unemployment is not a problem. Unemployability is becoming a problem. जो काबिल है, वो खाली नहीं है. Students are not able to answer in basics. That's the problem we are facing. And hence we are finding it difficult to recruit them. Industry is starving for want of quality human resource. Pay packets is not. But where is the talent? Because somehow students are used to study from examination point of view. Those 1 week or 1 day batting, they do it, somehow they get it. Don't make examination, make it education orientation. Markula kosam kadu, marku kosam chadavali. Bring in the change. Transformation is required. So don't run after marks. What is the transformation? Because at the end of 4 years, the student should be a professional engineer to handle situations in the industry. Not just studying and passing the exam. Passing the exam, fine. There's a reason when they come to campus, they don't look at your marks. They only take for shortlisting the students. All those who got first class, all those students who got 70% with no back class, yes, they're eligible to follow. Beyond which, what is your performance during the recruitment process? Is what they do. If they do not practice just learning 2 words per each period, do you know what will happen? Let me tell you the other side of the story. Your engineering is 8 semesters. Study material, they have to read 80 GB material. But they read only 80 MB material. They read only 80 KB material. They reproduce in the exam hall only 8 material and they get 8 marks. So B is brain empty is happening. So make them to learn just 2 words per period, which are whatever you taught that day, what the 2 words you feel is important, stress on that. And they're master of 9,000 words of their branch of engineering. And they'll start connecting it, all that can happen. The last approach I have is really most important lessons learned yesterday. To begin the session, did they really learn? Did they really understand that last class? Because there is a continuity. So to begin the session, to get the feedback learning after effect of 24 hours, what has happened, we need to know. Some kind of questions, some kind of maybe ask for a student brief it, or maybe you raise the questions. That would help us to connect it. The logical help us whether students are really putting the efforts or not. These things, so you'll be doing the assessment also can happen. That's another way to look at it. To make your teaching effective, you need to look at certain aspects. This is the moment, whatever is given to you, involve the students in planning the entire activity. Let's have it, because they're all grown up now, especially 3rd and 4th years, they're 18 plus age group. Let's be clear in the first session what all we're going to do. And begin with the student, what the students knows. You need to connect what their background is, what their information, what their knowledge is. Move from simple to complex. Make things simpler and then slowly take them to complex. I have a question here to, please don't mistake me, I have a habit of asking questions. What is the difference between ache and pain? We use the word headache, leg is paining. What is the difference? Sorry, I'm not here to test your knowledge. Okay, let me put the from engineering itself. What is the difference in engineering and technology? Even these questions students are not answering to us in interviews. They are supposed to know. It's not happening yet. Let me, I'll put some fellows says in all kinds of things they write in resume. I asked them, what is the difference in success and victory? They have no answers. Unlike my generation, their generation is KG to PG English medium. Then why can't they answer this? So involve them and begin with the student what he knows, move from simple to complex things. Accommodate students' preference because understand ultimately in the classroom students are important. If students are not there, we don't take teachers. We need to take students along with us to develop them over the 4 years to be professional engineers. So, according students' preferred learning style, you need to bring in some orientation which is required. You constantly innovate your teaching styles. Innovate or perfect is the need of the hour. Sort goals by learning domain. What is happening? Set the goals accordingly. Make whatever the material you prepare, make it meaningful. I would suggest to prepare material of 4 to 6 lines. I'm not saying 40 lines. No, I don't say that. Is it possible to send to those students 1 day in advance? What is it we're going to discuss in next class? At least half the class will come prepared. At least they read it, they know what's going to be discussed in the classroom. 4 to 6 lines, I'm not saying 40 lines. That is mentally preparing them to be ready for the class. That's what probably can be explored. So make the material meaningful. Allow immediate application of this knowledge, whatever they gain in the classroom. You also need to relate to practice. Show them where this is used in the real life environment, industry environment. You need to relate it. In what scenario this knowledge can be used. Then they fall in line, they say, yes, this is going to be useful, now I should work on it. Allow immediate application of knowledge and plan for periodical tests. You need to test it whether these fellows are moving forward or not. I have two questions at this point of time. What is the difference between test and examination? We do conduct a lot of tests, weekly test, monthly test, unit test, and then at the end semester examination, we call it. What is the difference between test and examination? Did we explore it? Having gone to trained almost 20,000 faculty as of now in the last 5.5 years, majority of the teachers are not able to answer. Let me tell you. And the next comment we relate to again to engineering opposite. When do you say testing is successfully done? You designed a product. Now, before you release to the market, you are supposed to test it for its full functionality and then release to the market. When do you say testing is successfully done? Most often I get the answers, if there are no errors there are no defects there, then that's all. Sorry, that's not the objective of testing. Testing is successful if you can find one more defect which has not been detected so far. Testing is successful if it can find one more defect. That's what the real testing is. In some of the convent schools, before they send the students to the 10th class exam, they conduct what is called pre-final exam. Pre-final exam is much more tough than the final exam because they don't want their branding to come down. That's the reason they go for rigorous testing. The main thing is testing is there. Testing is successful if it can find one more defect. Don't make at least class test, unit test, whatever you do it. Don't make tests easy. Let them know that they have to put in a little more effort. Is what the objective is. Not that we want to discourage them, demotivate. That's not intentions. Maybe out of 4 questions, 3 questions, maybe there should be one question, make it more tough. That is how you need to think about it. And students will be working for it. And tell students how they are progressing from time to time. They progress as they run. Let me tell you another thing which happens. Most of the students, when they come and join the engineering, look at their percentages. 10th class around 80 plus minus, intermediate 90% plus minus. Then what is happening in the BTech first semester results? If you look at overall university as a whole, all affiliate colleges put together, to my knowledge, just 30% pass first semester BTech. Please understand the orientation has changed. There, it's more, they come from the corporate colleges. There they had classes, some from other morning 5 to night 10. They were coaching, mentoring, guiding, nurturing, study hours. I don't know what all they've done it. The moment they come to engineering, there it was 5 to 10. Here it's not 10 to 5. Here we expect them to be self-learners. So the first semester is for transformation. You need to handle these boys and girls carefully because they have to transform themselves from the dependent to independent stage. That's where teacher's role is much more important in the first semester. You can see first semester backlogs are there that they are not able to clear even in the 4th semester. Very, very unfortunate. So tell students how they are progressing at each level and then give the necessary guidance. If somebody student is not following, call them to your staff room and again him or her once again. And reward desired learning with prize. You can appreciate somebody is doing a good job. I have a question to you. What is the brand you are creating for yourself? In marketing management, we call it USP. What is unique selling proposition? As a faculty members, we need to create our brand based on competency, what we have. Talk about competency. Draw a 2-dimensional table. On one side, you put qualification, the other side is competency. Qualified, not qualified, competent, not competent. Not qualified, not competent is worse. Not qualified but competent, I would say give him a chance so that he can improve his qualification and come back to it. The best if you can get qualified and competent, that's a rare commodity. is what happens. So, as faculty members, we need to create a brand based on competence what we have. How are the students going to remember us over the 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is? Or there are some students, they forget their faculty next semester, the moment they go there. So the fellow who taught me strength of mind, what is his name? He has got a beautiful name. His parents have given him, they don't know. How many of us known for individual brands? How much time we are able to spare with the students? I have another question. You all went to the school for 2 years. 2 years of plus 2, 4 years of engineering. There I stop. So which means 10 plus 2 plus 4, 16 years of life is spent in the school, college combined. Am I right? You say yes? No. Sorry, that's wrong answer. My dear friends, tell them they are here to invest their time, not to spend their time. How carefully they are investing every minute of these 4 years engineering, that decides the future for them. In commerce, they say ROI, return on investments. Unless I invest, I don't get the returns. They are here to invest their time. Parents are putting their hard-earned money. Our faculty is putting efforts to transform them. Make them clear that they are here to invest their time. They are not here to spend their time. If they want to, this is not the right place. Let them go wherever they want. And one could be, now if you're able to develop your rapport with students and develop the subject, you're able to go depth into it, you're able to present in a way students are able to appreciate the subject, fall in love with the subject, then you will be seen, you'll be heard, you'll be read everywhere. I have a suggestion to the faculty who are below 35 years. Suggestion. From your branch of engineering, take a subject of your choice, whatever subject you want. Work for 3 years, day and night on it. Become the master of subject. Assume for a moment you're in a district called, let's say, Warangal. Whenever I take the name of the state in the entire Warangal district, only your name should be heard. To that level, you must raise it. Please, and these 3 years, you're investing it to create a brand for yourself, to earn a name and fame. It'll also get you the money. And if you need to work, the number of colleges will start inviting you, sir, why don't you come and address our students? You heard everywhere. And if you continue more and more deeper into subjects and you're able to apply in any given situation, the day is not very far. Government may invite you to member on some committees. All that will happen. But please remember, you have to invest 3 years, go deeper into at least one subject of your own branch. It will also help you to take up research in the subject because in academics, you need to have PhD. That will also help you to get to PhD and get your doctorate. That will also help you. Think about it. So if you have to do that, if you have to be seen, heard, and read everywhere, what is that you can give away? Give away sacrifice for 3 years, the other part of the life. Focus on, highly focus on the career because you have to build your career. You have to go a long way in life and you have to meet your family needs, financial needs, and so many other things. And your salary has to grow. Salary will grow if you're able to develop the subject. Will happen. And people, this is what is happening is in engineering college when the students come out of the colleges. People first become engineers and then figure out what they want to become. That's too late to talk about it. With students, be friendly with them. Don't become a friend. Friend and friendly, there's a thin line difference. Be friendly, be approachable, be accessible to them, be available to them to clarify their doubts. And you can talk to them one-on-one basis, they'll open up and start talking about the problems, what they're facing it. And so guide them. You need to be a guide, you need to be a coach, you need to mentor also. Psychological counseling is good, especially when they're changing from corporate college plus 2 intermediate to engineering college where a totally different environment. So that there and that especially your first year age is immature age. There are a lot of physical changes happening, emotional changes happening, psychological changes happening. All the students going through a lot of changes, understand their problems. We all have so gone through that age. So bring in the change. All these boys and girls, they have the power to do things. The energy to do things. When Shakti flows in, it is Shivam. They have that energy to Rudratandam, Anandatandam Chegal. When Shakti flows in Shivam, when Shakti flows out, it's Shavam. This is the right age for them to put in the effort and come up in their career. I would say you need to have a goal clarity. What for the students are coming to college and what for the faculty is teaching the subject, you need to have clarity. ఆశయం ఉండాలి, అన్వేషించే మనస్తత్వం ఉండాలి. Search for more and more knowledge. Interact with the friends, interact with the colleagues, interact with the professionals from the other colleges, interact with the industry. ఆలోచన చేయగల థింకింగ్ స్కిల్స్ ఆర్ రిక్వైర్డ్. అనుభవాన్ని జోడించండి, అవకాశం మీకు ఇచ్చింది. And when you combine all this, adbhutalanu సృష్టించగలరు. You can create wonders. Focus more on skill building for the engineering students. That's an area where you need to play the role. And if you can improve the quality of the students, then the pay package is not a constraint. I quote again, Vastumulyam pramanena sevena samayena vastur amulyam. The product is got priceless. Provided you can meet standards, global standards. Time you deliver it, provide the service on time. Because please remember, all these boys and girls, they want to go and work for multi companies. They want to work in US, UK, France, Germany, Japan, and so on. So which means we have to bring in the global content into our classrooms. Train them for the external world. So are we able to bring? That's why I say Vastur Mulya Pramanena Sevena Samayena Vastur Amulyam is what can be about it. Quite often these young boys and girls, they talk about the dream boy and dream. The same way I as a recruiter, I say, I have a dream employee. My dream employee is one who is totally committed to the process to the core. Our systems and practice, he must implement 100%. He must be available 100%. He must take care of these things. So my dream employee is one totally committed to the process to the core, delivers world-class quality products and services. Delivers world-class quality of products and services. And third quality to look at is at unimaginable speed. If they can meet these three criteria, pay packet is not a constraint. So a dream employee is one who is totally committed to the process to core, delivers world-class quality of product or service at unimaginable speed. This is what industry wants. Are we able to prepare? So let me conclude it. The object of teaching a student is able to get along with or without his teacher. At the end of 4-year period, he should be able to learn on his own, because once he joins industry, he has to learn on his own. Nobody is going to conduct the programs. They may send them the short program 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, but beyond which he has to learn on his own. A lot of new technological development is happening. So we have to train them at the very art of conducting seminar. You remember one of the methods I said is seminars. Make them self-learners. A great teacher, his way of teaching, his way of interaction with students, he doesn't care whether you're in the first bench or last bench. Purely depends on teacher. What the role you're playing, whether first bench or last bench, you're able to take care of. This can happen. And for him, everybody is a student. The another point we keep saying, sir, the student is useless. Sorry, talk like that. It was never about a better students. It was never a better student. It is always making a student better is our job. We have been paid that. I repeat again, it was never about a better student. It is always about making student better is our job. A student must be taught how to think, but not what to think. How to think is important, how to do is important. Knowledge is what and skill is how. How to do is important. Industry wants skill base. With these few words, I thank all of you for the patient listening. I'm sorry for all that initial trouble we had. First few minutes, my lecture has affected. I'm also know that. Over to the organizers.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful lecture. Really, we do got a good feedback in the chat box also, sir. They got inspired by your talk. And wonderful, sir. And I'm so happy that, sir, you were standing from the past 1 hour, I guess, sir, when the program has started. Yeah. Thank you
Yes,
so
yes,
much, sir.
yes, yes.
We know, sir, the determination and the commitment toward the society for the betterment of the society, how much you are doing for us. It is wonderful, sir. And
Sir,
thank
this
you
is
so
the
much.
24th webinar for this month.
Yeah,
Today is
congratulations.
the 24th webinar I delivered this month. Tomorrow,
Uh,
25th webinar I'm delivering.
yeah, over to Vijaylata ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir, Saikumar sir.
Thank
It
you.
was great, really great insight what you have shared, and also you have how you have well defined about the way we tackle a student and how we have to understand a student. It was really wonderful session. Hope, yeah, if time permits, we'll repeat the session once again, sir, because many of the
Okay.
participants were unable to join through this.
I know, I understand.
Yeah, we'll